What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the Heat Report. Just before we start off the video, I really want to give a quick shout out to all my subscribers, the 87 subscribers that I have, because we are only 13 away from 100 subscribers if you do the math. And to everyone who's not subscribed, because I just saw that there's 95% of my viewers are not even subscribed. You guys are really missing out. Please hit the subscribe button. You don't want to miss it. Please help out the channel. It really helps me out. And it helps you out because you get nice content from me too. So we can help each other. And yeah, man, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to all my subscribers because, like I said, we are only 13 away from 100. And we're going to be grinding as the season starts, because it's going to start very soon, actually. I think it starts in like 20 days. So just a quick shout out to all you guys. Make sure to leave a like as well. Comment down below what ideas you want to see in the future. Let's get into the video. So in today's video, what we're going to be talking about is something that I've wanted to do for a long time, but I just didn't know what the time was. Now that training camp has started and our roster is basically finalized, I think that this is the time to do the starting lineup projections for the Miami Heat going into the 2020-2021 NBA season. Before we even do that, can I just talk about the disrespect that the NBA has shown us? Did y'all see the Christmas games that they gave us, bro? They gave us the Pelicans. No disrespect to the Pelicans, but usually the team that made it to the finals plays against the team that made it to the finals. The two finalists play each other, or one of the finalists plays a team that did well in the playoffs. Why are we playing the Pelicans? They didn't even make the playoffs. I understand that they have Zion, but come on, you could have given someone else the Pelicans. They got to reward us for what we did last season, but that's besides the point, I guess. Actually, on that topic, our first game will be against the Orlando Magic. It'll be an away game against the Magic on the 23rd of December. And then we will be playing on the 25th, like I said, the Christmas game against the Pelicans. So those will be our first two games of the season. I'll be doing previews and all when we get closer to those games. Previews and 5 things to look out for, stuff like that. But as far as what the starting lineup should be, obviously, we have our team. When I was looking at our roster, we are a lot deeper than what I thought we were. I think we were a little bit deeper than we were last year. And maybe it's because we had guys like Justice Winslow injured and James Johnson who wasn't really playing. But I think that we are one of the deepest teams in the league this year, especially if you look at guys who are on the rise from the G League. KZ Okpala, notably being one of them. He came out in an interview and said that he's itching to play. And I can't blame him. I think we selected him. I think we selected him 4th in the second round, or 2nd in the second round. We selected him very early in the second round, and we ended up gave 3 second-round picks for him. So we obviously really believed in him. I think Spo is going to use him. I just don't know how much he's going to use KZ Okpala. I just wanted to throw his name out there because I don't know if he's going to be in the rotation as much as he wants, but he's definitely going to play some minutes. He's going to be like how Duncan was. Duncan was in the G League for his first year, and then he just went into the starting lineup. I don't think KZ's going to go into the starting lineup, but I think he's going to get some minutes. If you look at the starting point guard position, I think there's 4 possible candidates that really could fit the bill here. The first one, obviously, being Goran Dragic. Goran Dragic was you guys know Goran Dragic is a big piece, a big part of why we were so successful in the playoffs last year. I think that he was our leading scorer up until the finals, and he was that second guy that Jimmy could rely on to create his own shot in the starting lineup last year. I know Tyler Hero came off the bench, so but he was also relied on. But I'm talking about in the starters, if Jimmy Butler didn't really have it going, or if Jimmy Butler was trying to get some other guy involved or some other guy to create his own shot, Goran Dragic can do that very effectively. Do I think he's going to start? Having said all that, no. I'd be absolutely shocked if I saw Goran Dragic starting for the Heat against the Magic and the Pelicans. The reason being, not because he's not a good player. Obviously, he's one of the best players on the team. But I think that last year we used him very well. You gotta keep in mind that Goran Dragic is 34 years old. He's not getting any younger. And I think that the way that we used him last year was pretty smart. We used him pretty conservatively. We used him as a 6-man, kind of came off the bench, And the reason he was so successful in the playoffs is because of the fact that we didn't burn him out in the regular season. Uh, he was able to sustain, a lot of that energy, um, and we didn't really have to like use him as much in the regular season as we could have. And I think that's smart with a guy that's getting up there in age. We got to use him. We got to manage Gordon Dragic pretty effectively. We can't play him big minutes every game. Like, it's gonna take a toll on his body. He's 34 years old. We can't burn him out because we need him for the playoffs. That's when he's gonna be most important for us. But I think Goran Dragic is gonna be a very important player for us. Coming off the bench, because I don't think Spo's gonna start him. I'd be shocked, like I said, if he starts him. The next player that we have is Tyler Hero. A lot of people want to see point guard Hero. Um, he did start at point guard in the finals. I think he even started at point guard. There was a couple of games in the seeding games, where Jimmy and Goran were actually, like, I think they were taking time off, or they weren't playing. It was like against the Suns, the Thunder, and I think even the Pacers, if I'm not mistaken. But he started at point guard. He did pretty well, actually. Against the Suns, he dropped like 25. Against the Thunder, he dropped 30. So yeah, I don't think point guard is his natural position, but I think it's something that he can adapt to. He could definitely play that position because we've played him in it, but I don't think it's his natural position. Um, a lot of people want to see Hero start because a backcourt of Hero and Robinson would be pretty lethal offensively with the shooting and all that. The offensive potential is endless with Hero and Robinson in the backcourt. Because if you start Hero at point guard, Robinson's gonna have to start at the shooting guard because we don't have any other shooting guards besides Hero and Robinson. But the only thing about Hero and Robinson as a backcourt is defensively. I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna be defensively. Teams might have a field day with them in the backcourt. I think we need some defensive presence out there. Um, and I think that off the bench, if we start Hero and Robinson together off the bench, we're really lacking size at the guard position. Dragic is 6'3", Nunn is 6'3", and I think Avery Bradley's 6'2". So, I mean, even like off the bench, we don't like here. At least Hero brings some size. Off the bench, I don't know like how we're gonna use those three point guards off the bench. Um, but I think Hero, if you want to start him, should start at shooting guard because I don't think him and Robinson starting would probably. I don't know if them starting would be the best thing for us because defensively they will get exposed. Until like one of them develops like some stability on the defensive end. They have like we can't play them big minutes together because we're gonna have to protect them with our other starting players, and it's gonna be mismatches all day, and that's what they were talking about. Like they've talked about how teams have gone at them on the defensive end. So they know it and we know it as well. They just got to develop some defensive awareness, and then maybe like Spo will be comfortable enough to start Hero and Robinson together. But if you're gonna start Hero, it has to be at the shooting guard position for me, for that reason. Um, Kendrick Nunn is another option. Kendrick Nunn was actually the guy who started all year for us last year in the regular season. Unfortunately, ended up getting the coronavirus and kind of fell out of the rotation, lost his rhythm. A lot of people were going in on Kendrick Nunn. I didn't really get it. Like Kendrick Nunn was a big part of why we even like were so good in the regular season. Like people forget that he was second in Rookie of the Year voting. I do think that out of Hero, Robinson, and Nunn are like young guard core. He is the odd man out, but I just don't get the people who are going in on Kendrick Nunn. I think that he was still a big part of why we were so successful last year. Even if he lost his rhythm in the playoffs, but if you look at if you look at like if he's gonna start this year or not, I think that it is a possibility because he did start last year. Spo might say, it worked last year, so there's no reason why it can't work this year. Um, but I don't know. I don't know where he is on the pecking order. That's the only thing with Kendrick Nunn. Is this both favor him over Dragic, Hero, and Avery Bradley to start? I don't know. That's the only thing about Kendrick Nunn. I think he's very fit to start in the point guard position. It's just whether Spo thinks he's fit enough to start after he has guys like Hero who are rising, who are one of his young stars. picked up Avery Bradley in the offseason. Goran Dragic was very effective in the playoffs. So it just depends on where Kendrick Nunn is in the pecking order. But I think he is a very viable option to start. Lastly, we have Avery Bradley, and this is the guy that I'd actually want to start at the point guard position. I think Avery Bradley brings a dimension that we haven't really had in a while. A point guard who can, really lock in and play defense. Like the defense at the guard position has been sort of a weakness for us in past years. I think that, I mean, obviously we had D Wade. D Wade was a very good defender, but I mean, when he came back to Miami, he was old, so like he didn't really have the, the quickness and like the explosiveness of the defensive end anymore. He didn't have the athleticism that much anymore. And I think the defense at the guard position has been something that we haven't really been able to solve. And I think Avery Bradley was a very underrated pickup, and I think we need to start him. I think we have to start Avery Bradley because the shooting guard position is going to be either Robinson or Hero. And like I said, both of them are not good defenders. So if you put Avery Bradley on their man, or put Avery Bradley on whoever is trying to go at them, then it'll be fine. We got to have some defense in the guard position. So I think Avery Bradley fits our team because he can also space the floor as well. So I'd really like Avery Bradley to start. I don't know if Spo's gonna do it, but I'd like Avery Bradley to start at the point guard position. Now shooting guard is between Robinson and Hero. So Duncan Robinson, I mean, to me he's almost a lock. Like it's really tough because Duncan Robinson is like I don't think people understand the impact that he's had on our offense since he's been put into the starting lineup. Like our offense was actually better than our defense last year. And if you look at the Miami Heat, they're always defense first. But I strongly believe that Duncan Robinson being added into the starting lineup has made our offense that much more potent. And I explained it in one of the videos before, like the dribble handoffs with him and Bam is so smart as well because if Robinson draws two defenders to him, he can just pass it to Bam. Bam can just go. Bam can keep the ball on the keeper, fake the handoff and drive to the rim. Bam can hand it off to Robinson for a three. It's just so many possibilities with the handoff. Just opens so much, and we need a guy like Robinson on our team who can just run off screens and just basically just be a pest on the offensive end because you can't take your eye off him. And he's like a very special shooter because he can shoot like. He can contort his body and just shoot in like awkward angles for some reason. I don't know how he does it, but he's just very adept at doing that. So I think he is a lock. I think Hero will be the better player in the future, but I think Duncan Robinson has to start for us just because of the fact that, just because how much better he makes our offense. It is tough though. Hero, I love Hero. I don't know if Spo will start Hero over Robinson. I think Spo really likes Robinson. Not saying that Spo doesn't like Hero, but he understands what Robinson's impact to the offense is. And Hero probably will get the start in the future. He might start at point guard this year too. I just won't start him at point guard for the defensive reasons, but Spo might start him at point guard. But yeah, I'd start Robinson at the shooting guard position. And when you look at Hero, same reasons, the defensive reasons. I do think he'll be the better player in the future because he can create a shot much more easily. He can play make. He's an underrated rebounder. I just want Hero and Robinson to, develop some defensive awareness, stability. I don't know if that's possible. I know Hero, like, he has the work ethic. He even talked about it. Like, I love when people go at me on the defensive end because it challenges me to be better. And we need him to do that because Tyler's gonna work. That's one thing we know about Tyler. He's gonna work. And if there's something that's wrong about his game, you expect him to fix it quickly. And I hope that Tyler, whether it's Tyler or Duncan, I don't really care, but I hope one of them develops defensive awareness so we can play both of them together at the same time. Because if we do right now, it's just a liability on defense because teams are just gonna have a field day with them. Small forward position, I don't even have to talk about it. Jimmy Butler starts at the small forward. If you look at off the bench, we have Andre Iguodala, we have KZ Okpala that I mentioned, but Jimmy Butler's going to start 100%, and I hope he has a very good year for us. With Jimmy, I'm just going to talk about Jimmy. I don't want to disregard him completely, but I think that I don't know if his scoring is going to be as high because like, he doesn't prioritize, scoring the ball in the regular season. Like he wants to get his teammates involved, so expect his assist numbers to be high, higher, like as high as last year, maybe even higher. And he'll just do everything. He's just a winning player. Power forward is very tough. Power forward is very tough. We did acquire, two power forwards in the offseason, one from a draft, one from a signing. We did re-sign a power forward as well. It's tough. It's tough. Like I honestly don't know like who to pick. I did pick one, but like it was tough for me. Mo Harkless is the first option. Now I think with Mo Harkless, uh he does fit our team very well. I think he can stretch the floor. I think he was a Jay Crowder replacement. Now, obviously, Jay Crowder, like he really shot well in the bubble. He was just a bit inconsistent, and like he didn't shoot in the finals or in the conference finals. But before that, he was lights out. But Jay Crowder hasn't really been like that good of a shooter. Like that when you saw that in the bubble where he was like shooting lights out against the Pacers and the Bucks, that's not who Jay Crowder is. Because if you look at his like career like 3-point percentage numbers, like him and Mo Harkless are kind of on the same page. So I don't know if like those two playoff performances from Jay Crowder were indication of how well he can shoot, because I think he can shoot the ball, but we saw that he's a bit inconsistent. I think Mo Harkless is kind of the same thing. He can't shoot like Jay Crowder, can play defense. Very, very heat culture signing that we got. Like he's a very tough guy to play defense, stretch the floor. Do I think he will start? No. And I don't I think it's because if you look at him and Myers Leonard, the reason that I think Myers Leonard would probably have more of a possibility to start is because of the contract that he's on compared to Mo Harkless. Like we paid Myers Leonard a 2-year $20 million deal where we paid Mo Harkless 1 and 3.5. So I don't think we paid Mo Harkless to start on our team. If you only paid him, I think the mid-level exception. So I don't know if Spo's going to use him as a starter. Not saying I don't want him to start, but I don't know if Spo will use him as a starter because we have Myers Leonard, who's the next option, um, who I think will start. Myers Leonard, I'd be shocked if Myers Leonard doesn't start, because we're paying him a lot of money, and he did start for us last year, did pretty well in the regular season. Um, but we're not just gonna pay him 20 million to sit on the bench. Like, um, we're going to pay him money to start, and Myers Leonard will start for us, and I'd be very shocked if he doesn't. Precious Achua is the last possibility for the power forward position. I'd really want Precious to start. I don't know if Spo's gonna Spo's not gonna throw him in the fire like that. He's very cautious about developing young players. Wants to ease them into the rotation, which is good. Did that with Bam. Tyler brought him off the bench. He's gonna do the same thing with Precious. I'd be pretty surprised if Precious starts right off the jump because he might start in preseason, but yeah, I don't know if Precious is gonna start overall like in the regular season, but um he's still gonna be like a very important piece for us in the future. Shout out to Precious, man. I saw the videos of Precious and Tyler working out. Precious looks good. Like I saw Precious, but like he looks really good. Um like shooting, like I did see him at Memphis, but he was only like a 31% shooter from three, and he was knocking those shots down in the workout with Tyler. So um it is just a workout, but it's nice to see our guys, building that chemistry already. And shout out to Tyler for taking him under his wing. At the center position, Bam, Bam, Bam. We only have one option. That's Bam. We do have Olynyk off the bench for depth, but Bam has to start. Bam is probably going to be our most important player in the regular season. I know Jimmy's our best player, but Bam is the engine of this team. Bam is the guy that gets everything going. We need Bam to stay healthy, first of all. We need Bam to, do what he does. Take that next step, Bam. 16 points. I want to see 20 next year. I know Bam can do it. Um, and yeah, I really want him to cement himself as like a top. He's already a top 5 center. There's no doubt about it. But can he get into that top 3 spot? Or is that too big of an ask for him? Because you do have Cat, Joker. I almost call him Joker, and Embiid. So I want Bam to solidify himself in that conversation, because if you look at Bam, it's always those three, and then you got guys like Bam and Gobert like a notch below. But I want Bam to solidify himself in the conversation with Karl Anthony Towns, Jokic, and Embiid. And I think he can do it this year. He's very young. He's only 23, so he has the potential. But that's gonna be it for me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a pretty long one, but it's something that I had to do, especially because the season's gonna start soon. I don't know off the top of my head when preseason is gonna be, but I think preseason is gonna be pretty soon because the season starts in only 20 days. So preseason is gonna be obviously before that. Um, and I will be doing other videos that you guys request in the comments and doing my previews for, every regular season game that's going to be coming up, starting off with the Magic, Pelicans, etc. But like I said in the beginning of the video, please make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe. We are only 13 away from 100 subscribers. And I'd really appreciate it if you guys hit the bell so you guys don't miss any videos, and leave a comment down below as to what you want to see in the future. Thank you guys. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.